Hey friends, how is everybody doing? I have not been live in a minute, but I'm getting ready, so I figured I would come on here and do a live super quick and answer, I guess, some already questions. This might be repetitive for people that follow me all the time, but if you're new here and you have questions about being a bottle girl or just how like certain things work, I'm going to kind of explain this to you. So a lot of people, I think a lot of people saw my video about bottle girls and how we make like $1,000, $1,500 a night, and I explained how all of that works, right? But I think like what a lot of people don't understand is being a bottle girl, you don't just get a bottle and bring it to a table and then you made $1,000 and you go home. That's literally the furthest of like how anything happens. So I kind of like want to explain this whole process or like situation because I think that people have it confused. Like they think that you get paid to be pretty. No, that's what the dancers do. The dancers get paid for how they look. You get paid to do a job and provide a service. And if you don't do your job, then you don't get paid. So let's talk about that, like how the tables work, how sections work, how your money, everything like that is, okay? So, sorry, if I seem kind of scattered brain, it's because I'm getting ready, like, and I just moved into my place. I don't have all my makeup set up like how I normally do. But, okay, so first misconception I think that people think is they think, oh, I'm going to get hired as a bottle girl. I'm going to go work at a club. Let's start right there. If you sent me a message, which I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Oh, great. There goes my beauty blender. Now I have to wash this. If I got hundreds and hundreds of messages of people saying, I'm going to move from my small hometown and I'm going to be a bottle girl and let's do this. First of all, I appreciate your dream. Never give up your daydream, okay? Go on, Shay, get out. Sorry, I have my dog in here. Out, Shay. So I appreciate your daydream. Never give up your daydream. But with that being said, saying that you're going to leave your hometown and become a bottle girl, I think it goes without saying that you should never move somewhere without having a job secured. Like, I think that just goes without saying. Especially if you're coming from a small town. Moving anywhere like LA, which is where I just moved from. I just moved from LA, now I live in Miami. I was born and raised in Southern California. Lived out there my whole life. But if you think you're going to go move to New York or Vegas or Miami or LA and just be a bottle girl, I kind of want to talk to you guys about how that process works and why it sounds kind of crazy. I don't want to discourage you guys from living your dreams. That's definitely not the case. But I want to compare it to this. Saying that you're just going to move and become a bottle girl is like telling your friends you're just going to move and become an actor in Hollywood. It's the same exact thing. You have to remember, being a bottle girl is dependent upon a few things. Number one is looks, all right? If you don't have the look of what the club is looking for, and I mean like looks, okay? Like looks. If you don't have the looks of what they're going for, then you better have a very large following on social media. So with that being said, let me preface this. I do not look like a Victoria's Secret model. I do not look anything like a Victoria's Secret model. However, I have been in Playboy for 5 years, on and off. I was in the Hooters calendar when I worked at Hooters for 3 years. I was in all the Hooters bikini pageants. And now I have a very large following on social media. Why is your following on social media important for the club? It's not because you have clout. It's not because of anything like that. Your following on social media is important because as a bottle girl, you are responsible for booking your own tables and bringing people in the club. So if you have Ashley, I'm just making up names. If you have Ashley, who has 100,000 followers on Instagram, and you have Sarah, who has 500 followers, or let's give her 1,000. You have Sarah, who has 1,000 followers on Instagram. Who do you think is more likely to bring people into the club every week? Probably the girl with 100,000 followers, right? And here's why. One, because people view her as a public figure. Whether or not you believe being Instagram famous is real or it's not real, or TikTok famous is real or it's not real, it doesn't matter what you believe. At the end of the day, you could think that being Instagram famous is corny, but if you saw an Instagram model out somewhere, you would know exactly who they were. That's exactly why the club hires Instagram models or people with large social medias, okay? So it's because you don't need to believe that they're famous. You could think that social media is lame. You could think that social media is dumb, whatever. But you're still going to know who that person is, and so is everyone else. So when they see them in the club, they're more likely to, like, because they already kind of have an idea of who they are because they peeped their page or whatever. When they see them in the club, they're more likely to come back. Another thing, when you have these Instagram famous girls or models or dancers, like my club is all IG models. Like, that's literally the criteria. Before they even let you in the door, it's let me see your social media. And we'll talk about that in a second. But when you have these IG models, it's easier to bring high profile rappers, athletes. We just had Drake on Friday. He bought my whole club out. It's easier to bring celebrity clientele in because they want to be with all the IG models. You know what I mean? So it all goes hand in hand. So when people are like, oh, hey, I just want to wake up one day and become a bottle girl. Is it possible? If you have 20,000 followers, maybe. It is very possible with no experience. If you have no experience and you have 1,000 followers, really anything less than 20,000 followers, if you have no experience and you're trying to go work at a big club, I don't even know if they're going to let you in the door. My club is super brutal about it. They're super ruthless. I literally see girls come every day, every single day. They have their bags, they have their whole body done. Oh, shout out to Claudia. My homegirl is in the chat right now. If you guys don't follow Claudia on Instagram, Claudia Cornejo right here, go follow her. Beautiful Instagram model. She works at a super famous club in New York, and she's such a great person inside, you guys. She's not like, she's not like, oh, I'm an Instagram model. No, like, she's such good people. But that's why your social media following is, like, super important to work in a club. So I like, again, I don't want you to give up your daydream. I don't want you to think it's not possible, but I just want you to know that breaking into the industry here, and I'm talking about any big club, okay? Like, big club. I'm not talking about a jump off club. I mean any club where you're making thousands of dollars a night, okay? Thousands of dollars. When you're trying to break into an industry, you need to think about it like Hollywood. It's the same thing. You just got to keep trying until you get your big break, you know? A lot of people are like, oh my God, how did you get hired at your club coming from LA? Like, when you're not even from Miami. So I knew a lot of people in LA from my club. I knew a lot of, like, big influencers. One influencer that she's super, super big. Her and I were, like, friends. We would hang out all the time. We would talk, and I told her, let's go. I'm moving to Miami. She lived in Miami. She dances, or used to dance, at my club. She doesn't anymore. And so she put me in contact. So that's kind of like how that connection was made. It really is all about who you know. So talking about who you know and, like, followers, let's talk about that. First of all, don't ever buy followers and think that the club is not going to know right away that you're a fraud. Like, you will expose yourself immediately when they look at your Instagram and they see you got 40,000 followers and you got 100 likes. They're going to know right away you're a fraud. Second of all, if you have your likes turned off, but you have, like, 2 comments, or all your pictures, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, when you look at an Instagram model's page, her Instagram looks different than, like, your biology professor's page. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna know right away. So don't buy followers thinking it's gonna get you hired in the club. Like, also too, if no one's ever heard of you, like, all these IG models, you guys, they know each other. Even though, like, the world is small, they can live in different states and they've heard of people. If no one's ever heard of you, the club's gonna be like, I've never heard of you. Like, this is weird. You got 40,000 followers. I don't know. You know what I mean? So don't try to fake the funk. Going forward too about you, on why you need to have a lot of followers or you need to know people in this industry, is I think when people saw my last video that I posted and they saw how much money bottle girls were making a night, they thought, oh, I'm just going to wake up and make that too. No. So this is how it happens. This is how bottle service works. This is how the club works. The club is a money industry, okay? They care about making money for themselves. Everyone there is just dispensable. You know, they don't care who you are. They don't care how many followers you got. If you're not making them money, you're going to be out. So this is why I'm bringing this up. When you get hired as a bottle girl, right, and you have tables, you're given a section for the night. If you're not familiar with the industry, like how the industry works, there's basically a floor plan in the back. It's a little piece of paper, and it has table numbers written on it. And every night you come in, they assign you to a section. So some sections are better than others, meaning like they sell out quicker. Some sections have a better view of stages. Like sections, there's such thing as a good section and a bad section, okay? So for example, you don't want to be assigned to the patio during the winter in New York. No one's going to sit out there, you know? Bad section. So going forward with that. Just because, let's say you get hired, let's say that you're brought onto the club, let's say like you make it in the doors, you're not guaranteed any money. I have seen girls leave with $0 and I've seen girls leave with $30,000. It's all dependent on you, and here's how. If the club sells a section, like a walk-in, let's say a club sells a table and you don't know this table. They're just people outside in line waiting to get in, okay? And somehow at the door they get talked into buying bottle service, right? You did nothing to sell that bottle. You're not related to these people. You didn't bring them in. You're not affiliated. They're not your friends. So that automatic gratuity, let's say at the door they were sold a $2,500 section, that automatic gratuity of $500, because that's 20%, that does not go to you. That goes to the club. That goes to the person that sold the table. Your job as a bottle girl is to sell tables and sell bottles. If you're not selling them, you're not getting that money. So when people sit here and think like, oh, like I don't have to do anything, I just show up and look pretty. What do you mean? Like you literally need to know people. You need to bring people in on every shift that you're working. You need to sell your tables. Like that has nothing to do with the club. The club just provides you a venue to do it. Like you need to think about it like a hairstylist, right? Hairstylists, some of them do booth rental. Like the salon is just providing the stylist a venue to offer their services, but the salon doesn't bring them people. And if they do, the salon gets a percentage, right? That's like that same thing. So when people who don't know anybody think that they're going to get into this industry and make millions of dollars, that's not accurate. You're not. You need to book your own tables, you know? So it's the bottle girl does not get 100% of that gratuity unless she's the one that sold the bottle. And you have to think about it. Your job as a bottle girl is to sell bottles. If the club is doing your job for you, if they're selling bottles for you, what do they need you there for? Why are they going to pay you an hourly wage and like have another body in the house if they're going to do your job for you? You know? So I think a lot of people have bottle service jobs misrepresented with what it actually is. You need to have an amazing, like exceptional used car dealership type of salesmanship to know how to make money in this industry. If you don't, you will leave with $0. You will come to work at 10:30 p.m., you will leave at 8:30 a.m., and you will leave with no money. And the girls around you who get it, like they're gonna make money. And here's another thing. Think about it like this, okay? I think that people think bottle service is so easy. Like, oh, you're so beautiful. They just buy bottles from you. Yeah, I'm beautiful when I'm by myself. But when you put me next to a bunch of Victoria's Secret models or a bunch of Instagram models, I start to not look as pretty. You feel me? And that's for everybody. Because, like, everybody has a type. So, like, that's for everybody. So if you go into a job thinking you're going to skate off of your looks because you skate off of your looks at your bar when you go out with your friends and guys buy you a drink at the bar, it's a lot different to get a man to buy you a drink at the bar because he thinks you're pretty as it is to get a group of people to buy $2,500 worth of bottles that they could buy at CVS for $200, okay? Like, the level of finesse that you need to have, salesmanship, is uncanny. You ever try to go to brunch with your friends or go out to dinner with your friends and the bill comes and the bill's like something crazy, like $1,000, and everyone's trying to figure out what they got and what they didn't, and you're trying to get money from everyone? It's so annoying. You're like, God, I don't want to deal with this. You have the one friend that's like, I just got a salad, and you have the other friend that, like, you know, went ham and got like 40 shots and whatever. Like, you know how annoying that is to deal with? Now imagine being a bottle girl. You're trying to talk a stranger who you don't know into buying a $2,500 table plus your $500 tip that they have to give you. Like that's automatic. So let's see. Do we have a good connection? Okay, we're back. So it's like I said, imagine how you feel trying to get money from anyone. Now, what type of level of salesmanship do you think is required to get strangers to buy bottles overnight? Because your job literally depends on it. So, the next time that you look at bottle service and you think, oh, I want to be a bottle girl, it's so easy, ask yourself these questions. Who do you know? Who do you know that can come out and spend a minimum of $2,500? Because that's the cheapest section that we have, is $2,500. But if we have a celebrity that night, which we do like 3 times a week, if we have a celebrity that night, that $2,500 section is going to go up to $5,000. Our most expensive section will go up to $20,000, $30,000. It goes based off of who's in the club and what's going on. So to talk someone into buying a section that literally costs the price of a car payment, that takes skill, like actual skill. And I know that someone said on here, people are like, so you knew people in Miami before you moved? Yeah, so I have a lot of connections, which is how I got hired at my club. I know a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of big, deep pocket people that, like, own whole airlines. You know what I mean? Like, I know people like that. People that would come and see me, hang out with me, stuff like that. So that's what got me another thing at my club. So yeah, I think a lot of people think the club provides you with a table. I think that's what people think happens. Is like, oh, I'm a bottle girl. I'm going to come into work and the club's going to tell me how many tables I have tonight. Absolutely not. The amount of tables you have is determined upon how many people you got to come in. With that being said, being a bottle girl is not just working, on the time that you're scheduled. Being a bottle girl is also, it's knowing, hold on, you guys, my eyebrows are like uneven right here. Being a bottle girl is networking even like when you're not on the clock. That's what it is. It's being outside of work. It's meeting new people. Like, that's why a lot of people see bottle girls on Instagram and they're like, oh, she's made for the streets. Like, she's always in the streets. Like, hey, player, like, she's networking for her job. How are you going to meet new people to come in unless you go out and meet people outside of work? So that's another thing. It's like, are you a social person? Can you go out and network with these people? Like, what's the vibe? Let me scroll up here. Let me see. Yeah, no, our cheapest section is $2,500. But, yeah, you got to be able to network with people. You got to be able to create relationships with people. Like, you got to be cool giving a stranger who just spent $10,000 in your club, you got to give them your phone number. At the very least, you got to add them on WhatsApp, because how are you going to contact them to come back into the club and, like, book another table, So there's so much that goes into being a bottle girl that I just don't think people understand. You know what I mean? And to make the big money, like the $1,000 minimum a night, the $1,500 minimum a night, these are all things that, like, you're gonna have to do. Not saying that, like, you can't make small money somewhere else, but it's like, if I know someone just put in the chat that, like, their cheapest section was $500. Our cheapest bottle, not including the section, is $550 at my club. That's our cheapest bottle. Then again, like, I live in Miami, I work in Miami, so it's a little bit different, but it's like, you're not going to make big money unless you work at a big price club. So, for example, if you go into a club and they're like, oh, we'll give you a section for $500, that's not somewhere I want to work, because 20% of $500 is $100, and that doesn't even include, like, whatever cut your club gets from you, your tip out, nothing. So it's like, at the end of the day, you're going to sell a section for $500 and you're going to leave with what, $60 of that, $70 after your tip out, after you pay the club fee, all that? Like, absolutely not. And then if you only get 3 tables in your section and they're all $500 sections, that's $300. So you see what I mean? Like, you're not going to make thousands of dollars a night unless you're working at a place where the tables are thousands of dollars. Like, 2 and 2 has to equal 4, So yeah, I think that's probably, like, the most frustrating thing, like, that I see about girls that have never worked in the industry. is they think they're just going to walk in and make thousands of dollars and all this stuff, and you very well could. You very well could. But the chances of that, I think, are very low if you don't understand. So let me try to read some of this stuff here. Someone says, does Jizzy Doll really be making that much like she posts? Yes, she does. So I actually was just talking about her with my girlfriend Claudia. But yes, she does. And this is why. This is like what she's not telling you guys. So when she goes to these clubs, she's paid. She's booked to come there. She's not just like traveling there, you know, to do whatever. She got booked by the club through her agent, and she comes. When she comes, what she tells the club is any money that's thrown between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. or whatever time she's there, 3 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it is, any money that's thrown, any money that's on the floor, it all goes to me. So other dancers are dancing, but she's getting their money. So you can imagine how people feel about her in the club. And that's the deal that the club makes to have her come in. They go, okay, so, you know, you have 50 dancers in there, and people throw, you know, 60,000, 80,000 between 50 dancers or whatever, and then Jizzy takes it, like, that's just what that is. But yeah, like, she does really be making that money. She was just at my club, like, a month ago. But yeah, she really does make the money that she says. But, you know, just because Jizzy Doll does it, it doesn't mean that someone from Minnesota is going to move here and that's going to happen to them. She knows a lot of people, too. She knows a lot of, like, athletes. She knows a lot of celebrities. So, you know, it's different. You can't compare, like, something like her, you know? All right. Okay, so here's the thing. If someone says, if I get my body done, would I have a better chance of getting in? I have no experience. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the emotional, like, mental, physical distress this industry is going to put on you, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, we're all ugly to someone. I'm ugly to someone. You're ugly to someone. Like my mama, your mama. We're all ugly to somebody, okay? But the clubs with rappers and athletes, what they like is the BBL model. That's just what they like. You don't have to like it, but that's what they like. And that's the person that they're catering to. The reason why they're catering to this person is because Drake is going to come in and throw 200,000 in ones. So they want to make sure that they have a club full of women that he would like. You're going to come in, you're going to throw 500 in ones. They don't really care about that. They care if, like, is, you know, someone like Drake, someone like rappers. You know what I mean? I truly believe, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on TikTok, like I truly believe we're all beautiful. Like, we all have something the other person doesn't have. We're all beautiful. I don't care what you look like, tall, short, thick, little, like, I don't care. We're all beautiful. Unfortunately, the club looks for one type of girl. All the big clubs, like my club, I work at Booby Trap on the River, it's BBL fashion. That's just what it is. They all have BBLs, 2 BBLs, 3 BBLs, their boobs done, whatever. They all have 50,000 followers on Instagram. That's just what it is. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're somebody that suffers from, like, any type of body dysmorphia, or your mental health is, like, wavering, or, like, you're truly not at peace with who you are, I don't think this is an industry that you should get in. It's not something I would recommend for young women. I think it's very, like, damaging on emotional health. I think, 10 years in this industry for me, I got into this industry before BBLs were a thing, like before anyone had them. I was already in. I was already kind of like, I got in before that door closed. However, I was a 5-foot, Mexican girl trying to make it in LA. In LA, you need to be tall, skinny, blonde, beautiful, or like you need to look like Kendall Jenner to make it in LA. And I broke into that industry, and it was really hard for me. But now, I'm 30 years old, and you guys, like, truly no one can tell me nothing. Like, nobody can tell me nothing. I don't feel any way. I don't care if you have 10 BBLs. I don't care how big your boobs are. I don't care if you drive a Lambo. I don't care what you do, because at the end of the day, like, you're not me. And I know what I bring to the club, and there's a reason why I'm here. you know? So I never go to bed feeling a way about myself. But with girls saying, do I need to get my body done to get into the industry? I'm not going to say that you do. I just don't see them hiring any other type of girl. That's just the truth of it. I don't see them hiring girls. The natural girls that we have at my club, I'm talking literally nothing done, no Botox, no lip filler, like nothing. They literally look like they popped off of the Victoria's Secret runway. Like, I work with one girl, she's 21 years old. I've never seen anyone as beautiful as her, like, in person in my life. And she's all natural. She looks just like Adriana Lima. And she's from Russia. She's so beautiful. And she got hired, but, like, she doesn't look like the girl next door. She looks like she could be Adriana Lima. Like, she looks just like her twin. I have another girl who works at my club. She's super beautiful. She's super tall, really skinny, like Kendall Jenner. But, like, even her face, like, she looks like she could be a pink Victoria's Secret model, you know? So if you don't look that way, and I think we all know if we look like a Victoria's Secret model or not, okay? Like, I don't look like a Victoria's Secret model. I think we all know if we do or if we don't. If you don't look that way, I'm going to tell you right now, unless you have your whole body done, it's going to be very hard to get hired anywhere. So those are kind of the two exceptions. Do I think that that's fair? No, but I don't make the rules. That's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. I think that everybody has a type. I think there's somebody for everybody. But unfortunately, that's just, it is what it is, you know? Scroll down here and kind of read these. Let's see. The club sells a fantasy. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So someone just put in the comments, but it scrolled up. Someone just said the club sells a fantasy. I'm going to tell you right now, when you get hired at the club, that's exactly what they say, is the club sells a fantasy. And they want it to be women in there that you would never think could, like, actually be your wife, or that you would never think that you could actually have a shot at, or see them or take them anywhere except in these clubs. So that's what it is, and that's why the club is the way that they are. I do not look like a Victoria's Secret model, and I don't have a BBL yet. I want to get a BBL, you guys know, but I don't have a BBL. I do have my boobs done, but I do have a very large following on social media. My TikTok, I think, kind of carried me into the club, like, if we're being honest. I don't look like a troll by any means, but when you're next to these girls, like, I'm going to tell you right now, those IG models that you guys see, they really look like that in person. Their pictures are not edited. They look like that. Like their face is flawless, like their waist is this big, like, and you just look at them up close and you're like, oh my God, like, you're this beautiful. Like, you just walk around this beautiful, you know? So that's kind of what is happening, you know? Let me scroll up here. Someone said I don't have any experience. So I've addressed this before. If you don't have any experience, you better have a damn good social media following. I'm talking like 100,000 followers, and Drake better know who you are. Like, for real. The girls that come into my club that have no experience, they come in because, like, they DM Drake, like, right there in front of the manager. You know, they show them that, like, they're friends, or, like, some athlete, someone big, and then they get hired. And it's because they know that that athlete or that celebrity is going to come in because that girl works there. So if you don't have experience, that's what that is. Also, another thing, too, I get this a lot. People are like, oh, I don't have any experience. It's mildly, like, very, very mildly offensive. Very mildly. If even offensive is the word. To think that someone doesn't need any experience to do what I do. But again, you know, it's like, I get it, like, people are ignorant about it or whatever, but it's like, if you think you could just walk into a club and get someone to buy a $1,200 bottle of alcohol from you that they could buy for $50 at CVS, by all means, be my guest. Plus, get your 20% gratuity on top of it. Like, by all means. That takes experience. Y'all got to know how to talk to grown men. That's another thing. You're not finessing kids. You're not finessing 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds out of their money. You're trying to tell a grown man who owns, like, is part of, like, a Fortune 500 company, or who owns a business or whatever. You're trying to tell him, like, why he needs to give you his money. Like, y'all, if it was that easy, none of us would have to work. If we all had that skill, right? If we all could just finesse people to give us like their hard-earned money, we wouldn't even have to go to jobs because we would get it. But it's like, it's a skill, you know? Let me see. Yeah, bartending is like wild. You know what I mean? Like wild. It definitely is a skill. And people are saying like, oh, I know girls who don't have any experience. Yeah, if they don't have any experience, the people that you know are probably beautiful. Like gorgeous. Like everyone thinks they're gorgeous. I'm not talking about only some people. I'm talking like they're universally beautiful. That's another way to get hired without any experience, is you got to be like universally beautiful, you know? And that's rough, you know? Okay, let me scroll up here. I bartend and I do bottle girl or bottle service, whatever you want to call it. I am I'm the lead bartender and bottle server at my club. So I can do both. Some days I bartend, some days I do bottle service. It just depends. Some days I choose wrong, you know, like, so when I clock in, I can choose what I want to do that day. Some days I'm like, you know, I'm not going to bartend. I'm going to go on the floor. I'm going to sell bottles. Like, it's really busy. And then I choose wrong. Like, the bars pop in and the floor for bottle service is slow. And then some days I choose to bartend and then the floors pop in and the bar's slow. You know, so it's like every day I go in and I kind of just like flip a coin. Do we have connection? Are we back now? Are we back now? We have connection? Sorry, you guys. My friends are like all calling me. They all like try to FaceTime me when I'm on TikTok, and then it freezes the thing. Okay, yeah. So another thing I want to explain to you guys about how bottle service works. In any big city, I cannot talk for little cities. I'm talking about LA, Miami, New York. I'm going to talk to you guys about how bottle service works. Okay, because. And I understand that like people have never done it before, so they don't get it. So I'm going to explain it to you how the prices work, all right? I got messages from a couple people. They were like, oh, I want to come to your club. I want to do bottle service. Like, how much does it cost? And I responded back, our cheapest section is $2,500. They go, what does that include? Like, what does that mean? I said, well, it means that you have to buy it for $2,500. It has a $2,500 minimum. So if a bottle of 1942 at the club costs $1,200 and you're in a $2,400 section or a $2,500 section, right? You could buy 2 bottles of 1942. That'll put you at $2,400, and you still have $100 left to spend. Spend that $100 on Red Bull, water bottle, whatever you want to do. Then on top of that, you have an automatic 20% gratuity. It's 20% of the whole table. 20% of $2,500 is $500. So your total would be $3,000 because the tip does not come out of your section. It means that you have a minimum that you have to spend. So I understand that like people don't understand that, but that's how that works. At my club, you are guaranteed your table for 3 hours when you buy it. Every club is different. Some clubs let you have it for the whole night. Some clubs let you have it for an hour. Some clubs until the bottle's gone. My club, it's for 3 hours. So what that means is, let's say you come in to buy bottle service, you buy the cheapest section, it's $2,500. You're going to end up spending $3,000 because you have that $500 with tip. And then let's say your 3 hours comes to an end and we're packed. We have a line outside. At that point, security is going to tell you that you have to get up and move, or they're going to tell you that you have to purchase a section again. At that time, the rate of the section could change. Let's say you bought the table at 11 o'clock at night, right? When like no one was in there yet. It was like, I don't know, 50 people inside. Let's say you buy it at 11 o'clock at night for $2,500. Now, right, 3 hours, that's 2 in the morning, that security is going to come up to you. We're at like our peak, like people are trying to get in. We have a line outside, it's wild. 2 a.m., your $2,500 section, now maybe it went up to $5,000. You know, if you want to keep it, maybe it went up to $7,000. So that's how that works. This is why it's a multi-billion-dollar industry to be in. So when I tell people like, oh, a bottle girl can make minimum $1,500, that's minimum. That's assuming that every section was sold for the cheapest rate. But the rates of the tables change dependent upon the price and dependent on the time and how many people are trying to come inside. So Like we had Rick Ross there last weekend, and our $2,500 sections went up to $7,000 because Rick Ross was there. It was Rick Ross, Future, and Quavo. Like, yeah, maybe even someone else. I think Kodak Black might have been there too. But they were all there at the same time, you know, in the club performing, like doing whatever. So that's why, you know, you make so much money on top of stuff, is because the rates are ever changing. You know, the lowest you're going to get is $500 per table. That's the lowest tip you're going to get, but you could get $1,000 per table, $2,000 per table, you know, whatever. And however you burn that money is how you burn it. Like, that's up to you, you know? So if you're sitting at a $5,000 section, you could burn that $5,000 any way you want. You could split it amongst 5 $1,000 bottles. You could split it amongst, you know, 10 $500 bottles. However you want to do it, as long as you burn that $5,000 and they get that money from you up front. So before you even go inside, right, and you buy a section, before you even sit down, we get that money from you. We collect it. So that's how it works. Okay. Let me scroll up here. But what do people like do being a bottle girl, just constantly pouring? So being a bottle girl is you are a VIP host. You're responsible for that section the whole time they're there. Anything that they need, you get it. They need napkins, you. They need straws, you. They need cigarette trays, you. They need a lighter, you got to go find it. It does anything they need. You're their personal VIP host for the 3 hours that they have that table, or for the night if they bought it. Your job is to come out, you do the bottle parade, you know, with like all the flashing lights and the signs, pour all of their drinks, make sure their ice doesn't get melted, make sure they have clean cups, clean their section for them. Like, you're constantly like you're in the section, like doing tons of things, because once people start taking shots and they start drinking, they start getting messy, like in their section. Your section should never be messy. Your section should never have cups that are empty, ice that's watered. You should never have like a bunch of like cigarette butts in like the ashtray, like none of that. And the reason why you have to be on top of this cleaning is it's a marketing technique. And let me tell you why this is like a form of selling. Keeping a section clean is your biggest way to make money. And the reason why is because if somebody comes into a club, we don't have clocks anywhere. Next time you go into a nightclub, look around. There's no clocks. And you know why? Because they don't want people to know how long they've been there. They don't want people to see the clock and be like, oh my God, it's 5 a.m. I have to go home. No, we don't want you to know. Your phone died? Cool, even better for us. It's dark in there. Why are clubs dark? Because there's no concept of time. Why are there no windows in nightclubs? Because they don't want you to see the sun coming up. It's all marketing techniques to keep you in. It's all a way of selling. So by keeping the section clean, by picking up glasses, picking up shot glasses right when they take the shot and they put it down, by picking that up, cleaning it up, by cleaning out the cigarette, like the ashtray, nobody knows how long they've been there. If a section's dirty and someone's like kind of, you know, feeling drunk and they look around and they look down and they're like, oh my God, look at all these shots that we've taken. Oh my God, I got 4 cigarette butts in the ashtray. I smoke like 1 cigarette every 30 minutes. Oh my God, we've been here forever. No, we don't want you to know. We don't want you to know how long you've been there. We want you to stay. We want you to hang out. We want you to keep buying rounds. You're not going to keep buying rounds if you look and you see 30 empty shot glasses in front of you. You're going to think, oh my God, I just spent money on all these 30 shots. How much money have I spent? I need to go. It's all marketing techniques, you know. These are all things that you need to be aware of, like being a bottle girl too. You know, it's a way to, there's ways to finesse without having to talk to anybody, and that's one of them. So let me scroll down here and read. Trying to read these right now. Yes, y'all, I'm telling y'all how to upsell. So if you're a bottle girl, you're a waitress, you're a bartender, there's subtle ways to make more money. Clean up. Just clean up. That's the first way. Clean their shit. That's why, like, you guys notice, like, in big clubs, the minute you put your drink down or it shows that it's empty, like you're not drinking anymore, they grab it and they clean it. They wipe it. Why do they wipe it? Because they don't want you to know that the drink was ever there. And you're going to lose count of how much you've been drinking when the section's clean, you know? That's what we want you to do. Like, we're there to, like, finesse you, you know? You're there to have a good time, but we're there to make money off of you. So those are some ways that, you know, you clean things. Like, cigarette ashtrays. First of all, if you work somewhere where you're allowed to smoke inside, like here in Miami, you're allowed to smoke inside, make sure that you're cleaning your ashtrays. Like that's the easiest way to make money, dumping out ashtrays, because people know how many cigarettes they smoke in an hour, and if they don't know, then they're not gonna know how long they've been there. Another way of, like, you know, making money or subtle things about being a bottle girl that, like, people don't talk about is you need to know your liquor. Why do you need to know your liquor? Because you need to know that Casamigos Añejo is $29 a shot and Don Julio Añejo is only $16. You need to know that. So if you don't know liquor, how are you going to sell more and how are you going to get a higher tip? You know? So that's why it's important. Again, when people are like, oh, I don't have any experience. Well, if you don't know liquor, you don't know how much stuff costs, you don't know what the expensive stuff is, you don't know the difference between top shelf, super top shelf, you know, well, you don't know any of that, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make the club money. You're not going to make yourself money. So these are all just little things, you know? Another thing, too, like Bottle Girl Game 101, like the easiest thing to do. When someone comes up to you and they ask you, can I buy you a drink? It's always yes. Always, always, always. I don't care if you don't drink. I don't care if you're not old enough to drink, but you probably like won't even be working in a club. Most clubs you have to be 21 and over to work in. But if someone wants to buy you a drink, it's always yes. So at my club, we have a drink. It's a tequila shot with no lime. That's the drink. It's water. It's water, but we're charging the customer for tequila. That's what we do. So I'm going to tell you, yes, of course, I want a Casamigos shot. Casamigos, that's $18, right? I'm going to get water from the bartender. I'm going to tell them, hey, Casamigos, no lime. Tequila, no lime. That's what I'm going to tell them. They're going to give me water. They're going to charge the customer. I get that sale. I get that tip. I don't get drunk. Everybody's winning. So it's like, y'all, there's ways around the club life. If you don't drink, there's ways to make money. And at the end of the day, you go home, people see you taking shots all night. They're like, oh my God, you're not even drunk. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm a professional drinker. Nah, I've been drinking water for the last 6 hours. Now this dude, he's ham sandwiched. He's had like 6, 7 shots because I'm like, let's do another one. Let's do another one. He's had 6, 7 shots. Now I just talked him into a bottle. He's drunk. I'm like, why are we sitting here taking shots? Look at, you've spent $200 in shots when we can buy a bottle. A bottle's $5.50. Like, let's just get a bottle. They're like, you know what? You're right. Y'all, selling 101. 101. So that's why having experience is important in the club. Because if you don't know any of these things, y'all are going to get drunk your first hour at the club. You're going to make no money. You're going to get finessed. It's like, you got to know, you know. Let me scroll down and like read some of this stuff here. Let me see. Let's see. I'm trying to read this. Let's see. Someone said, what about promoters? Because I was in Vegas and a promoter came up to us and got us a free table. Yeah, so that table wasn't free. What happens is the promoter gets like a section. I can't talk about like specifically the club you were at. I'm just saying in general, the promoter gets a section that they can use for like party table, and it brings people in. And then they probably made money off of like door fee, off of drinks. So like you might have got a table for free, but then you were buying drinks all night, or you brought your friends in, or, you know, he filled it. Like he got paid for having people in there. Some promoters get paid by like the amount of bodies they bring in. So it's like, oh, you get $10 a person that you bring in the club, you know? Every club is different though. So... let's see. Would someone saying, can you drink if you want to? Yeah, you could drink if you want to, but it's like, why do you want to get drunk? Like, why do you want to drink at work? Like, I'm there to make money. I'm there to like finesse people out of their money. I'm not there to hang out and party. I'm just here to do my job, and my job is to sell alcohol. And the fastest way I can sell alcohol is if I'm not drinking. That's just water after water after water, you know? All right, guys, it is about 12:45. I hope that we had a cool live. I need to put my eyelashes on, and I cannot do that when I'm talking on live, and finish getting ready. But I will talk to all of you guys later. And yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably do like a bottle service tip video. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.